Sharper looks, a higher quality, roomier interior and more efficient engines are just some of the key elements that are set to make the second-generation Volkswagen Tiguan a success. Capitalizing on its predecessor's positive image and strong sales record, more customers bought Tiguans in 2015 than in any previous year. The newcomer is expected to be a major player in the very popular, and growing, mid-sized SUV market. There's an array of talent that Tiguan's up against, of course. Not only must it tackle mainstream rivals such as the Ford Kuga, Hyundai Tucson, Kia Sportage, Renault Kadjar and the omnipresent Nissan Qashqai, its near-premium positioning allows it to square up to the BMW X1 and Mercedes-Benz GLA. Tough-looking SUV focuses on comfort. It's no surprise to learn that the Volkswagen Tiguan's underpinned by its parent company's modular architecture, a version of which is also employed by the forthcoming Citadika and Škoda's larger SUV, expected to be called Kodiaq. VW engineers also confirmed that a longer, 7-seater version of the Tiguan is in the pipeline. Consequently, it feels sure-footed and agile but not especially sporty. In many respects it feels reassuringly like a Volkswagen Golf to drive, albeit with an elevated driving position. This time around the Tiguan's blessed with a more rugged SUV appearance, with taller, more perpendicular styling. It's peppered with interesting details, like the light-catching indentations on the grille bars and the pronounced chamfering along the body, which wraps around to help frame the taillights. Not only is the cabin more spacious thanks to the Tiguan's increased overall length and wheelbase, up 60mm and 77mm, respectively, there's an accompanying uplift in quality, too. Some of the plastics lower down the dashboard lack the same soft-touch nature of those on the upper plane, but it all feels well assembled and the switchgear operates with a satisfyingly well-damped action. Petrol and diesels initially, plug-in hybrid to follow during 2016, the Tiguan's range of engines will be fleshed out to give buyers plenty of choice between petrol and diesel. Joining the 178 bhp 2-litre TSI petrol in summer 2016 are two versions of the 1.4-litre TSI, with 123 bhp and 148 bhp. All of the TDI diesels are 2 litres in capacity, with 108 bhp, 187 bhp and 237 bhp versions later joining the 148 bhp edition available from launch. It's this latter powerplant that VW expects to take the bulk of UK sales. A GTE-badged plug-in hybrid version is likely to appear during 2017. Manual and DSG twin-clutch automatic gearboxes are available with most engines, with the 4Motion 4-wheel drive option available across the range, aside from the lower-powered variants. Volkswagen expects around 75% of customers to take up the 4Motion option. The latest Tiguan's noticeably more agile but doesn't feel sporty to drive. Comfort's its primary goal, especially when fitted with adaptive suspension. Its steering errs towards lightness and the relaxed nature of the DSG transmission suits the VW better, too. Off-road it's pleasingly capable. There's 200mm of ground clearance on 4Motion Tiguan's minus 10mm more than front-wheel drive models, and the short front and rear overhangs allow it to deal with severe inclines with ease. Wealth of technology available as you'd expect with a contemporary crossover. The latest Volkswagen Tiguan's bristling with standard and optional technology. There's a raft of electronic safety equipment including adaptive cruise control, emergency city braking and LED lights front and rear. You can also upscale the standard say navigation, cylinder line trims equipment rosters with a plethora of options including a panoramic glass roof, an adaptive digital instrument display and a high-quality Dyne audio infotainment system. Volkswagen's also further honed its active control system, allowing you to tailor your on-road driving for comfort or firmness, sport, depending on your personal tastes, as well as snow and off-road modes when conditions are more challenging. Read on to find out how we rate this excellent new SUV both on-road and off with full Volkswagen Tiguan review. Only one petrol and one diesel from launch. Additional versions of each follow in summer 2016. Petrol-electric hybrid GTE expected in 2017. Over the course of 2016 there will be an expansion of the engine offerings for the Volkswagen Tiguan already seen elsewhere in the brand's lineup, but from launch performance is served up by a simple choice between a petrol and a diesel. One petrol engine from launch. Volkswagen only expects 5% of Tiguans to be sold with petrol engines, which explains why the 2-litre TSI Turbo is only offered in the two highest trim levels. Producing 178 bhp, this Tiguan will reach a top speed of 129 miles per hour, covering the 0 to 62 miles per hour sprint in 7.7 seconds, thanks to peak torque of 320 Newton meters available from 1,500 revolutions per minute. It's a flexible, linear unit, with power delivered in a progressive manner throughout the rev range, its smoothness amplified by the standard fit 7-speed DSG twin-clutch automatic gearbox. The 2-liter TSI engine also comes with 4-motion 4-wheel drive as standard, further enhancing the Tiguan's ability to accelerate smoothly without losing traction, even in slippery conditions. Running costs are the most expensive of the launch range, with VW claiming 38.2 miles per gallon and CO2 emissions at 170 grams/km. Before the end of summer 2016, the petrol offering will also include 123 bhp and 148 bhp versions of the 1.4-liter TSI, with the GTE petrol-electric plug-in hybrid expected to reach the market in 2017. Single diesel initially available. Volkswagen's confirmed that by the end of 2016 there'll be 4 versions of its 2-liter TDI diesel, with 108 bhp, 187 bhp and 237 bhp editions joining the 148 bhp variant on sale from the Tiguan's May 2016 launch. This is the powerplant VW expects to make up the majority of UK Tiguan sales, offering a sensible blend of performance and efficiency. With that in mind, there's a choice of front-wheel drive with a 6-speed manual transmission, 4-motion 4-wheel drive with the same gearbox and 4-motion with the 7-speed DSG. The company expects around 3/4 of Tiguans to be ordered with 4-motion. Depending on the gearbox and driven wheels combination, the top speed is between 124 and 127 miles per hour, with the 0 to 62 miles per hour acceleration taking 9.3 seconds on all versions. Big torque of 340 Newton meters is available from 1,750 revolutions per minute. It's a refined unit which works particularly well in conjunction with the DSG gearbox. We found the manual's shift action a little notchy and less satisfying. While it's not the quietest of diesel engines, particularly at the upper reaches of its rev range, the noise isn't too intrusive. Little surprise that the front-wheel drive manual derivative is the most fuel efficient at a claimed 58.9 miles per gallon, with the 4-motion DSG version posting a claim of 49.6 miles per gallon. Emissions range in a similar pattern from 125 grams/km to 149 grams/km of CO2. VW's installed a filling point for AdBlue behind the regular filler cap, making it easier to replenish the cleaning agent's 13-liter reservoir. Improved agility but doesn't deliver a sporty drive. Adaptive suspension option maximizes comfort. 4-motion models are usefully capable on rough terrain. People tend not to buy SUVs such as the Volkswagen Tiguan specifically for their handling characteristics, but it's reassuring that for people migrating from a more conventional hatchback, that, higher driving position aside, it feels entirely normal. After all, this new breed of more modestly sized SUVs tend to share their underpinnings with their hatchback cousins rather than all new, heavy-duty off-roading platforms. So it is here, as the Tiguan is based upon similar modular architecture to the Golf. As a result, the Tiguan's impressively agile both on-road and off-it, responding to steering inputs accurately and changing direction without fuss, but like the majority of Golfs, the Tiguan doesn't feel remotely sporty. Its close cousin, the Citadica, is set up to satisfy keener drivers better. Instead, the watchword here is comfort, and it's a trait which is immediately apparent. Specify larger wheels on the standard suspension and you'll be more aware of sharper ruts in the road, meaning it's preferable to stick to smaller rims or opt for the excellent dynamic chassis control with adaptive suspension. In its standard setting, the steering feels on the light side, but this can be made heavier through the driver profile system. It doesn't make the steering any more communicative, although it offers a decent degree of feedback as it is. It simply varies the resistance experienced as you turn the wheel. All models come with VW's XDS electronic differential lock, which directs more power to the outside front wheel when cornering to enhance traction. Tiguans equipped with 4-motion come with 200 mm of ground clearance, up from the front-wheel drive model's 190 mm, and by switching the active control dial to off-road mode it becomes surprisingly adept at dealing effectively with rough terrain, the intelligent 4-wheel drive system metering out the power to the wheels with the most traction. Higher quality cabin ambience than before, switchgear and touchscreen, intuitive to use. Finding an ideal driving position proves easy. Over the past 2 decades, VW's honed its reputation for producing high-quality cabins, and the one installed in the Volkswagen Tiguan's no exception. Not only is there a satisfying degree of squishiness from the upper dashboard plastics, but this time around the Tiguan's treated to a unique interior, rather than one shared with the Volkswagen Golf SV. It's a quiet cabin with an upmarket tactility and precise, well-damped actions for the switchgear, the whole thing feeling as though it's built to stand the test of time. Infotainment touchscreens are found in most new cars these days, and the Tiguan's no different, with an 8-inch example sited in the angled central area of the dash. The graphics are classy, sharp and unambiguous, and the screen itself responds well to the touch. Few repeated prods are required here. Choose and select. It comes with a virtual instrument display which is customizable, allowing you to make the dials smaller and the sat-nav display between them larger. It's slickly designed, but debatable as to whether it's worth paying a premium for. As with other crossovers, you're sat high in the Tiguan, with a commanding view of the road ahead. Finding a comfortable driving position's no problem, especially with the Ergo Comfort seat on high-end models offering 14 planes of adjustment. Spacious passenger compartment, front and rear. Little exterior noise enters the cabin. Adaptive suspension option improves ride quality despite taking up a similar amount of road space as a Golf estate. The latest Volkswagen Tiguan feels like a much more commodious car, reinforcing its comfort bias. 4 adults will easily get comfortable in the Tiguan, with enough space in the back for a 6-foot passenger to sit behind a driver of the same stature and not have their knees against the back of the front seat. Fitting 3 kids on the back seat shouldn't prove difficult, although ISOFIX mounting points are only fitted to the outer 2 positions. Up front, the seats are comfortable and supportive, especially the Ergo Comfort driver's seat with additional planes of adjustment including a tilt function and electrically controlled lumbar support. Volkswagen's worked hard to make sure the Tiguan's cabin remains quiet, with little engine, road and wind noise permeating into the cabin. Larger alloy wheels do add a degree of sharpness to the otherwise fine ride quality, but we'd recommend spending the extra on dynamic chassis control with its excellent adaptive suspension damping. Generous equipment levels across the range say great appears to make the most sense. R-Line offers a sportier look from launch. The second generation Tiguan is available in 5 familiar VW trim levels of S, say Navigation, SL and R-Line. Standard Volkswagen Tiguan equipment. Whichever Tiguan you go for, if you follow the trend of 75% of buyers and plump for a 4Motion equipped one, it comes with active control, a dial for switching between on-road, off-road, individual and snow modes. Entry point for the Tiguan ranges as specification, which is decently equipped. Outside you'll spot 17-inch Montana design alloy wheels, protective lower body cladding and black roof rails. Inside you'll also benefit from diamond silver decorative trims, an adjustable front center armrest, a leather-wrapped steering wheel, Multano upholstery, a fore and aft sliding rear seat with a 40 hours 20 minutes 40 seconds split folding function, and an 8-inch touchscreen for the infotainment system, incorporating DAB radio and Bluetooth connectivity. Also standard are aircon, all-round electric windows, automatic lights and wipers, automatic emergency low-speed braking and lane assist, which gently steers you back into the center of your lane if the car detects you're wandering without indicating. Next up is Say, which Volkswagen expects to be the best seller in the lineup. It adds to the S-Trim's kit roster with 18-inch Patagonia alloys, chrome exterior detailing, silver finished roof rails and rear privacy glass. Once aboard you'll notice the tightened silver decor trim, rhombus upholstery, a multi-function steering wheel and a variety of additional storage compartments. Cruise control, parking sensors, a multi-function color display in the instrument binnacle and 3-zone climate control help complete the package. As its name suggests, Say Navigation adds VW's excellent sat-nav system to proceedings. Progress to the even more luxurious SL grade, and there's a further ramp-up of trinkets and technology. The wheels are upgraded to 19-inch Victoria design, while the lights front and rear become full LED units. Inside there's a combination of dark grey and gloss black trims, art velours upholstery, an Ergo Comfort driver's seat with 14 planes of adjustment, heated front seats, ambient lighting and a panoramic glass sunroof. There's an upgraded cruise control which becomes adaptive, regulating the distance to the vehicle in front, while the analog instruments are replaced by a customizable 12.3-inch display screen. Topping the Tiguan range is the aggressive-looking R-Line. Its sportiness is amplified by a deep front bumper air intake, increased body coloring for the exterior moldings, 15mm lower sports suspension and 20-inch Suzuka alloys. Inside there's race upholstery, an R-Line-specific steering wheel and a black roof lining. Optional Volkswagen Tiguan accessories. There's a plethora of potential options for the latest Tiguan, beyond the usual scope of alloy wheel upgrades and additional solid, metallic, pearlescent and premium signature paint finishes. An outdoor pack beefs up the Tiguan's appearance with a unique front bumper to increase approach and departure angles to 24 degrees. Sports suspension can be specified, but we'd be more inclined to spend extra on dynamic chassis control, DCC, with its adaptive suspension settings. Interior comfort can be increased with a full leather option, while the outer rear seats can also be heated at extra cost. There are a range of infotainment upgrades, but we particularly rate the excellent sound reproduction of the Dyne Audio Excite system. Keyless entry and an electric tailgate make life with the Tiguan even more convenient, while the automatic self-parking function is one of the easiest to use on the market. 5-star Euro NCAP crash test expected. Pop-up bonnet for pedestrian protection. Raft of additional safety gear available. Safety is a key consideration when buying an SUV as a family car, and the Volkswagen Tiguan's packed with a wealth of standard features, as well as several optional ones, to maintain the security of its occupants. It's not yet been under the auspices of Euro NCAP, but we expect it to receive the full 5-star score when it is. All Tiguans come complete with 7 airbags, including one for the driver's knee, as well as a raft of electronic safety aids, such as autonomous emergency braking, reducing the likelihood of you having to experience any of them being deployed. Pedestrians are offered a further degree of protection thanks to active bonnet mounts, which lift the body panel up and away from the engine in the event of a frontal collision. Depending on the specification chosen, additional safety kit will either be standard or optional at extra cost, including a very effective adaptive cruise control system, a head-up display pod which is a paragon of clarity, automatic main beam for the LED headlamps, and various alerts for changing lanes without indicating or reversing out into oncoming traffic. Large and flexible load space trumps key rivals. Enormous array of cubbies to hide valuables and Puebla interior trim stand the test of time. A large part of any SUV's appeal is its practicality, and the second-generation Volkswagen Tiguan's no exception in this respect. Depending on the specification you choose, you'll find an embarrassment of storage pockets and cubbies, from dash top lidded ones to drawers under the front seats. It's not only where you can carry things, but how they're stowed. Many Tiguans have a front passenger seat which folds completely over to enable longer items to be swallowed with ease. It's a really useful feature and complements the 40 hours 20 minutes 40 seconds split folding rear seat arrangement. That's not the back seat's only trick. In a 60 hours 40 minutes split, the seat base slides forwards and back, increasing the Tiguan's boot volume from 520 litres to 615 litres in the process. Those figures outrank the BMW X1, 505 litres, Kia Sportage, 503 litres, Nissan Qashqai, 430 litres, and Renault Kadjar, 472 litres. Fold the seats over, creating near flat load area, and the VW still leads those key rivals. Its 1,655 litre capacity trumps the X1, 1,550 litres, Sportage, 1,492 litres, Qashqai, 1,585 litres, and Kadjar, 1,478 litres. In fact, there's precious little we can fault the Tiguan on, practicality-wise, save for how fresh some of the lighter-hued interior trims might remain once they've spent a few months running the gauntlet of family life.